Welcome back to SAGENEL TV. For those who are family members, if you know, you know it has been a season, an interesting season for me. And for those who are passing by, watching this recently or years later, I just had a set of twins. So at the time of posting this video, it has been a while that I posted, although not very long, not even up to 3 months since I posted. I had saved up some videos that I managed to do in the last trimester of pregnancy that I've uploaded. But I thank you for being here and being a part of this story. Thank you so much for the congratulations. Thank you. I cannot even thank you enough. Today, like I promised, I want to begin to start to share. Of course, it has been busy, still will continue to be busy, especially because the twins are, of course, currently on the 6 months at the time of this recording. But any opportunity I have, I believe in using it and maximizing it. It's better to have something done than nothing at all. So I want to just start out putting out installments of the series regarding this twin pregnancy journey, just like I promised. Okay, how does that sound? So let's go. Welcome back to SAGENEL TV. I'm SAGENEL. I'm a relationship, marriage, and family life therapist, and I've been doing this for 10 years and counting. It's literally, at the time of this video, it is, I think, 2 months to 10 years at the time of recording. But don't worry, by the time you continue to watch this, it probably will already be 10 years, maybe 10 years. Yeah, the point is over a decade and counting. And I'm grateful to God for the gift of helping people heal, reach their goal, and just climb up to their life peak through counseling, therapy, coaching, and everything in between. Today's installment, we're going to be talking about the precautions that I took after my miscarriage. So that's what we'll be talking about today. Listen, I'm just out here. Like, the twins are being taken care of by my mom and her mom. And I'm just like, I came here, I had some comments. I'm just like, listen, let's just record this. So yeah, if you know, there's no all of the excessive makeup and all that. Let's just dive into the real matter. Okay, in case you're looking for about that, but I don't think you'll click this video looking for that. I think you're just going to be looking for the information, and I really want to jump right into it already. I had a miscarriage, and I think I'll share another video regarding that. But this video, I believe, is more important to share first before I then share the journey of the miscarriage, because there's a whole lot to talk about there. But I had a miscarriage before I got pregnant again, supernaturally, by God. In fact, our journey is amazing. And of course, gave birth to the set of amazing boy-girl twins that we're currently raising in our family. Now, that miscarriage was, when I share the story, you will listen to the story. It was not easy. Of course, I've written a bit about it, so you can check out my website, www.sagenel.com, to get an insight. So I've done an abridged version, writing out what happened. So yeah, it is actually out there. Maybe that is why I'm just jumping into this. So later, I'll do a video for that. And one of the things that I've seen, I watched a video recently, and there are people who do not know what to do after they have come out from a miscarriage. So I want to share from my own journey. I'm not a medical personnel or a practitioner in any way. I just want to share how I work through my own journey, first of all with God, because without God, this pregnancy will not have been kept to the full term. I carried this pregnancy, literally. God carried this pregnancy with me to the full term, like full term. And it is very possible after a miscarriage. So my miscarriage situation, even during the evacuation, so painful. Really, the thing about a miscarriage is you would always remember and know that child could have been. But let's not dwell on that in this video, since I want to create another video for that. Now, after this miscarriage, I think about 1 year later was when I realized that we were pregnant with a set of twins. What did I do differently? I'm sharing this because there are a lot of stories where people have had miscarriages and they just go on to get, first of all, they don't even know maybe the wait time or anything. They just go on to get pregnant hurriedly, and then they also don't know how to navigate doing things differently. I heard one very heartbreaking story, and this couple, they even tried. They tried to work with an OBGYN who they believe, I mean, if you're working with an OBGYN, a gynecologist who they believed, knew what he was doing, and because they had suffered a miscarriage, so try to say, okay, let's do things. By the time you're getting pregnant again, you want to be careful. But this OBGYN, unfortunately, did not really pay close attention, and it almost even cost the lady, the wife in this instance, her life. It was rather, it's rather unfortunate. I think what happened summarily with them was that, of course, they had a miscarriage, then they were pregnant again for their baby, and then they went to register, the double clocking, perhaps asking what they could do differently, everything in between. And then, long story short, the OBGYN did not pay attention to this particular lady's cervical length. And I would do a different video on cervical cerclage and the dilemma during my twin pregnancy, because there was a whole dilemma about the cervical cerclage thing, whether I should do it or should not do it. If I did it or not, you'll find out in that video. Let me keep you posted. I'm thinking, yeah, should I just tell you? But you know what? I did not do it. I did not do a cervical cerclage with a twin pregnancy. And I will explain how that happened in the video that I'm going to create specifically. I'm not saying this because if you need a cervical cerclage, you should now sit and say, I'm not doing it. No. But like I said, my own pregnancy, there was a lot of faith work and it was very supernatural. So a lot of the decisions I had to make had to be very supernatural. It wasn't one that I was just going to be making emotionally or just via what the doctor had said. But even in this couple's instance, because coming back to what I was talking about, if they needed to do a cerclage, it could have saved the pregnancy at least to an extent, or it could have helped at least, or it could have been tried. But as it happened, this doctor told the woman to go about her duties, all that other. Meanwhile, I think they did a scan without measuring the cervix or something like that. The measurement of the cervix wasn't there, and it was that's one of the most dangerous things. And they just kept on going. I think they just said because the OS is closed. You can Google that to find out. But if you're in this pregnancy space, if you're currently pregnant, you get what I'm saying. The OS is closed, and they just kept it moving until it wasn't anymore. I think they got into the point where the cervix was very short, the cervical length, and of course, if the baby comes out or drops too early, it's just what it is. And the baby comes out before the incubator age, because there's an age that you recommend for where your baby can stay in the incubator. If your baby comes out before that age, it will take the miracle of God to be able to do that. Anyways, try to do that. It was very painful, and they shared their story. So, but these are the people. I think their story, I don't know if it went viral. I wouldn't know, because we have to measure what is viral. But quite a number of people watch the story. But there are also other people who have not had the opportunity to share their story, or don't even care for it, but they have suffered a number of miscarriages, not because they want to be having, nobody that is having a miscarriage wants to be having miscarriages, God forbid, but it is because for some people they don't know how to go about it. Some people don't know who to work with. Some people don't even know what to do next. Some people, and for those some people, like this video may not be for everybody, and that is okay. I just want to share what worked for me in my next journey. Now, when I got pregnant, I knew that the first things first is that God is going to be working through this journey with me. First things first, especially the fact that it was a twin pregnancy. There was just a whole lot. The first thing you even need to deal with is the fear. Honestly, my faith helped a lot, and also working with like friends who are faith-based, who encouraged me. That was very, very important. Who were speaking live. And I also spoke to a person, a sister, who also had gone through the journey of miscarriage and had overcome that fear. Like there's a wholesome, rich diet of life words that really enriched my soul. And you can get that from the Word of God. You can get that from faith-based people around your life that are really living like Jesus, and you can also get that from therapy session, especially if you specifically want faith-based counseling. And of course, it's something I offer, because I also offer faith-based counseling for those that are interested. There are other methods as well, like other people's stories, reading books, all that other. But first thing, if you have encountered a miscarriage, is to be enriched. You have to make sure that your soul and spirit is enriched, is moist with the rich life word of God, because that is the first thing you need to. It's not about running up and down, and it's really the first and most important foundational thing. And if you are currently pregnant now, that you have suffered a miscarriage, and you're like, SAGENEL, I am not there yet. I'm not there yet. I want to be there. You can still go on that journey. It doesn't need to be over because, oh, you are pregnant. If you can do it before pregnancy, fantastic. Then you continue the journey while you're pregnant. But if you are currently pregnant, what you desire, like, SAGENEL, listen, like, I don't even know, like, I'm not even there yet. That's okay. I have shared about 3 ways. There are more, but these are the 3 ways I believe that you can get started. You can book a session with me. There are books. If you have friends, you can pray with. Like, there's a whole lot. Anyways, first things first. So you've already gotten one tip on how you can get started. So get the foundation right, because all these other things are just the things that would help with the building. But get the foundation right, which still relies on God. Why God? Because God is the one that gives children. Period. There's no long story to that. God is the one that gives children, and He's the one that you should be speaking to, because He's the one that is giving you the child. So He's the one that should be able to help you navigate the journey this. Secondly, if possible, please make sure that you get in with a birthing community for mothers. This is 2025 at the time I'm recording this. Gone are the days where you wait 1 week to see a doctor. 1 week even looks close. Some people, twin pregnancy, depending on the hospital, 2 weeks. If nothing much is going on with you for the first few weeks, you go for 4 weeks. I think for the first few weeks, I was going for 4 weeks before. Of course, they now collapsed it to 2 weeks. But the thing is, I did not sit down waiting for the 2 weeks. The 4 weeks, I would go to see the doctor before it then now started getting to 2 weeks. I enrolled into a pregnancy community for mothers. There are all these amazing pregnancy community for mothers. And at a point, I most likely will be talking about mine. So watch out for my post where I'll be sharing. And that community helped me. The doctor is really God sent. I believe that she's really, really called and purposed for this. Truly, she's called and purposed for this. She helped me in terms of holding my hands and going through the journey. I remember one particular night where I just had like just a chest, just the most random. All of a sudden, it was like my chest was tightening here. It was very strange, very strange. Very, now that I think about it, it's not funny. And what happened that night, I was wondering what was going. I had to do all manner of tests. Like, I had to do one of the most expensive heart tests. Like, the tests, they don't do it in this country. Where I did the test, where they took my blood and all that, they flew it abroad. That's how serious it was. That like, hey, like, is there anything with the heart? Like, we had to be, what's going on? So like, I felt just a sharp pain by the right. It was my right. So I remember she was like, oh my God, which doctor would it? She was the one that I had to call. Then she attended to me, said, okay, do you have this at home? I said, yes. She told me the drug, and she was like, okay, so I should take it. And I took it. Vasoprene was the drug she asked for. And I took it, and it's a long story of how I just have that at home. Another story for another day. But I took it, and, it was good. It went in minutes, and I was like, okay. of course, with a lot of prayers. So the thing is, if I was waiting to, of course, if you don't have, if a person does not have that luxury, if we're not in 2025, you quickly rush to the hospital. But at that particular point in time, I had a first aid option I could try, and if it was escalating, then I would then now go to the hospital. You see, so you need your first aid options. You absolutely need your first aid options. Like, listen, get into, for me, I am going to recommend Dr. Ifunanya of Pregify. She's the one I'm talking about. I don't want to get into, like, I love the services I received from her. So there are others out there. Whichever one you want to work with, just make sure that it's somebody that cares about your journey, period. If you're not working directly with the founder, which you don't need to work directly with the founder, depending on the number of people in the community, then what you want to do is you want to make sure that the wives, the midwives or the nurses or the doctors assigned to you are people who truly care. Because I don't expect everybody to working with the founder. That at some point when the community gets so big, then there will be delegates that they can work with. So yeah, that is very important. That was the community I used, and it worked for me. And so that is one I can remember. Other things like, my stomach pain, I had heavy nausea and vomiting during the first trimester. She was very helpful. Together with, I also had, I think I'll create another video where I will talk about the support system of doctors that I had. I didn't have just, first of all, I was visiting 3 hospitals. That's a different conversation entirely. Let's not even talk about that. Let's keep it to the topic. What's the topic? What to do after you've suffered a miscarriage before you get pregnant, or while you're, I'm sure you'll find the title somewhere. You'll find it in the thumbnail, in the title. But the point is how to prepare for a pregnancy, or what to do once you are pregnant after a miscarriage. So that is an example, and it was really, what I was saying is, it was good, and I had a lot of first aid help from her. So join a community that can help. And I don't know if everybody will have the luxury of working with so many doctors. When I mean so many doctors, I mean having access to either doctors that have been referred to you by friends where you can ask questions, or doctors that are your friend. The average person, or not so many people, may have access to that. But the one that is most important, just pay for this community, join the community, and then be seeing your doctor too. So this does not replace, these communities a lot of time are virtual. This does not in any way replace your physical antenatal and all that, but these communities help with, at least the one I was a part of. So when I say join the group, at least you've heard name and doctor of the one that I was a part of. So join them so that you can help is with proactive, a lot of things that my doctor, Dr. Ifunanya, in the virtual community that I was a part of, helped with she was just very proactive on with a lot of things. I don't want to prolong this video beyond a certain amount of time, but there was a lot of things that she was proactive with. And I'm not saying, please, that my other physical doctors, of course, I gave birth somewhere. I entrusted my body literally to an OBGYN somewhere, definitely. And I'll talk about that in a different video, how I chose the hospital. Oh, that was a long how I finally chose the hospital and all that. So of course those doctors were trusted and all, but I'm just saying in terms of first aid, quick response, what to do and all that, because at the end of the day we're different. And while there's ChatGPT and Google, fantastic, I use those tools, trust me, I use it a lot because I'm always reading and researching, always. You also want to make sure that you're also speaking to an experienced person that trusts you, who you can actually go back and forth with in terms of humanizing your process and making sure that you are doing what is good for you. Because no matter how much you use these tools, they are not humans anyways. They're supposed to be supported like heavily. If they're supposed to complement humans, they're not supposed to replace humans. I'm talking about the internet research and all that, although they're very good. And what I would do with those information is, Dr. Ifunanya, shout out to you. As you are watching this video, I would read and then I will ask a lot of questions. So if you cannot even have a person who is answering your questions, that's a different video we should do for that. So I don't know. Anyways, how do I want to close out this video now. So do the community, then be proactive. Be proactive, research. So that is one. Community, all this antenatal online community. I don't want to call it antenatal because I got beyond antenatal community, antenatal care. I got like a 360-degree personalized care as well. So, okay, if you want to call it antenatal, fine. I guess that's the name that it's called. I just got like a personalized, well-rounded pregnancy care. So I won't just tag it as antenatal, but I guess that's what the communities are called. Then research. Videos like this, I decided that I was going to do it for twin moms in Nigeria. I'm very specific about twin moms in Nigeria. Okay, let me explain, maybe Africa. But I'm very about Nigeria because I did not see a lot of. Maybe they are recording it somewhere else in another platform and I'm not aware. But on YouTube, I didn't see a lot of Nigerian twin moms so talking about their journey. As in, I'm not talking about that your child is growing and you're showing us your child and the cute clothes. I'm saying their journey, their concerns. I would not say that I had fears. I would say I had concerns. Okay? Because we spoke about fear at the beginning, but concerns, yes, you would have concerns or you may have concerns like, okay, how do we solve this as you go along your pregnancy? I didn't really see, I saw a lot of blacks, I mean black American or other countries, that's, but I didn't see whites and all. I didn't really see. So even, and it's not supposed to be that hard. I saw a doctor. I'm talking about moms, of course. I saw doctors. I love Nigerian doctors, are doing great. I'm talking about moms coming to say, oh, this is how I battled with cervical seclage. This is why I did it. Oh, I did it. I did not do it. Definitely other countries, yes, but not Nigerian twin moms. So like, no. Once the Lord helps me to go to the end of this journey successfully, pregnancy journey, I mean, oh, I'm definitely going to be helping other twin moms for sure. And this is me keeping to my promise. That's why I'm just showing up here. It's just a day I just concluded a session. I didn't plan to do this, but I was like, listen, instead of me saying, oh, I will do this, I'm coming, of course, understandably so, I'm still resting post-pregnancy. Babies are growing, they're still under 6 months. No, I know that, but I'm like, let me still put it out gradually, gradually for the twin moms in Nigeria, as I've promised. I'm sure other countries will benefit as well. So as I start to close out, then of course take your research. I already said research, so make sure that you research as much as possible in alignment with your concerns, and that's why you have to have a doctor that can also ask these questions, because a lot of times this research, and sometimes some research are sponsored by certain big farmers, so you have to be sure, you have to keep if you're not a researcher, if you're not a person that loves researching, maybe make you just leave just ask your doctor questions because you have to counter research and I mean the research is nearly endless. My research period used to be in the midnight because it's quiet, everything. Although sometimes the children, most times, the babies are moving in the womb, but I'm just going to be researching away. So, to an extent, you don't have to love it like me, but you can do basic stuff. Then always ask your antenatal online community questions. If maybe you don't have time, maybe your work, you don't have time, all that, then go for your physical antenatals. Ask your question, your doctor's question. If you are in a hospital where if you ask a question, the person is rolling their eyes and all that, it may be a red flag. Or maybe, I'm not saying the person may be having a bad mood the first day you go there. Okay, second day, maybe something happened at home. The third time, I don't know. You figure it out. So, for me, it wasn't a negotiable thing for me because I had suffered a miscarriage. So I wasn't going to compromise the quality and the standard that I needed for my pregnancy. It was a non-negotiable. So I will ask you questions, sir. I will ask you questions, ma'am. And if it looks as if like I'm disturbing you, there's a face that's going to mind. I'm going to be like, okay, maybe we're not the right fit for each other. So ask questions. You have suffered a miscarriage, you are pregnant again. They're not giving an award for the most miscarriages. Make sure that you go through asking questions and doing your own part. What I said when I came into this pregnancy, this twin pregnancy, which is a high-risk pregnancy, by the way, is that I'm going to do my very best to make sure that anything that can cause a miscarriage will not happen as far as it concerns me. See, when I do my best, I'll leave the rest. Now, if anything happens outside of my control, I will leave it as God taking control and God walking with me. So God is not the author of bad things. I hope you know that, and don't want to turn this into a sermon. So it's not like, oh, God caused it or God anything. It's the enemy that wants his children to be sad and all that. But if a situation happens where you've done your own best, then just look at it as God has a bigger plan, and there are different parts in the Bible that can prove that to us. Maybe in my Bible study series, when you join in, I'm inviting you. Don't worry, if you follow on social media, you see it at @sage_nel everywhere, most places on social media. Then we can talk about the specific examples. But yeah, let me not digress. What I'm trying to say is, as long as it concerns you, just make sure that you do your own best, which is what I'm talking about. Then just allow God, because you can't be saying you're allowing God. Some people will be saying they're allowing God, then they'll be packing maybe sugar in their body. They'll be saying that they're allowing God through the process, and they'll be doing the opposite of what is healthy for themselves and their baby. They say that they're allowing God, and they're not checking their blood pressure. They say they're allowing God, and they're not taking precautions. You can't be saying that you're allowing God and you're praying and you're not taking all of these precautions. Somebody who is busy taking all these precautions and is probably not even praying as much as you is getting healed. So I want you to take out time to go through all that I've shared. If you've got specific questions for me or follow-up questions, you can ask. If you want my email, just put it in the comments and I'll pick it up from there so that you can ask me the questions that you have, or just put it in the comments so I'll create it. But if you have had a miscarriage, it doesn't have to be multiple. You can take proactive steps as much as it concerns you. It doesn't mean that, oh, you're going to solve all the problems, but as much as it concerns you, to be able to prevent it from happening again. And maybe should it happen again, maybe it's time for an investigation. That is, if you've not already done one. Because of the weeks where my own miscarriage happened, it wasn't really a full concern for an investigation. I won't say I did a thorough investigation. What I just did is what I'm telling you now. I did a proactive step. I took proactive measures. I didn't go into thorough. Yeah, we'll be invited after the miscarriage, we'll come and do a thorough investigation, all that. Apart from the fact that my husband and I at that point were not even just ready for it. I just did not think it was necessary for me. I did not think it was necessary, and it happened to be that it wasn't necessary, because let's just say that happened, and that's about that. But a lot of miscarriages are avoidable. Yes, they are avoidable. So work on this step. Is there any other thing that I'm forgetting? I will try to record. I will be, by the grace of God, as God continues to strengthen and embrace me, record other installments in this series of my twin mom pregnancy journey. But I think that you can start out with this first. Let me not prolong this video beyond this particular minutes. Make sure that you ask me any questions, and of course continue with faith prayers. Make sure that you're praying. I had a community of friends that were praying for me, and I had people praying for me individually. So you must make sure that, again, the first part of enriching your soul, your spirit, very important. Then take all these precautions, and then also live healthily. As much as these are some of the things that the community that you join should tell you as well. Live healthily. Sanitize your mind. I made sure that I wasn't looking at things, well, a person died, a person did not. I made sure as much as possible. Yes, some of those things will come up from time to time, but don't dwell there. You don't need to sit on the information now that you're pregnant. It shouldn't concern you right now. Okay? Yeah. And God would help you. We can talk about sanitization of the mind in a different video, but if you do the enriching of your soul and spirit, it would help to cushion any challenge, because you will hear about bad situations, miscarriages, people dying and all that. Do not let it get to you, and you can always work with a therapy session. All right, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what other kinds of video you want me to do as a twin mom to be. Congratulations to you, and I'll see you in my next video. But you can see me on previous videos that you have missed. Thank you for watching, and do well to subscribe.